ever. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you all to the first ever FAB-TANTRA webinar. I'm delighted we all are here, and I hope we all can learn something new and beneficial from this session.
Now, I would like to introduce you to such a great panel that we have today. First up, we have Dr. Sindhu Bhaskar, that is the Chairman and CEO of EST Group. EST Global Incorporation is an enterprise based in MIT, ecosystem incorporated and operated from Cambridge Innovation Center, MIT, USA. Dr. Sindhu has worked his career into global leadership in transforming the financial ecosystem through digital evolution, Fintech revolution, and financial inclusion. He is now leading an initiative with the majority of the world's population in the rural and farming sector, with the initial beginning in India. Next, we have Mr. Raj Kapoor, is an advisory board member at several blockchain companies and the founder and chairman of the Indian Blockchain Alliance, the largest emerging technology tech think tank. He is an accomplished tech innovation professional, Drupal web application developer, blockchain and cryptocurrency educator, certified Bitcoin professional, blockchain solution architect, community organizer, and a friend of disruptive ideas. Chairman of Organization of Blockchain Technology Users, and also the Asian Lead Technology and Innovation at Blockspace Technologies Limited, an advisor of Tech Built Innovation Partners. Unfortunately, due to some unforeseen reasons, he is not in here today due to some reasons. Next up, we also have Mr. James Stowe, the Global Head of Business, Coinstone, Vice President, UOB, Relationship Manager, Maybank, Senior Personal Banker, DBS Bank, and NUS Alumni. Next up, we also have Miss Shelley Fantastic, I hope I pronounced that name correctly, is the founder and president of She Fan Pro Empower, Women in Blockchain, Advisory Board Member, Blockchain Chamber of Commerce, Advisor, India Blockchain Alliance, Advisor, Blockchain Solution Advisor for Quorum 8, United Kingdoms, co-founder and director of the business of blockchain and cryptocurrency expert. We also have with us today Professor Dr. Ajay Kumar, director at IMS Ghaziabad. He is an enterprising academician with an enriching experience of 35 years in the field of education, research, training, and consultancy. He has also authored many books published by renowned publishing houses. He has also facilitated on the occasion of World Marketing Summit and Philip Coulter Awards 2020 by Laura Rees, President Rees and Rees, Georgia, USA on February 29, 2020. We also have S.I. Sushant, is Cyber Law and Cybersecurity CEO, Law Associates Head Faculty, Cyber Laws Knowledge Center, Cyber Law Expert and Techno-Legal Consultant, member, FICCI IP Forum member, Telangana High Court Advocates Association.
Thank you so much, Gauri. That was really a wonderful introduction. We are really fortunate to have such a brilliant panel with us today. They have been very gracious in taking out their time from their hectic schedule to join us here today. So without any further ado, let's get the session started. If anyone has any questions, they are welcome to put it in the chat box. Thank you. I would now request Dr. Sindhu sir to please come on the screen and start the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Dhruv and Gauri. A very good evening to you all for sparing time on a Sunday to listen to us. On behalf of FAB Association, I extend my warmest welcome to you all and all the speakers of the evening. Mr. Raj Kapoor, Mr. Shelley Fantastic, Professor Dr. Ajay Kumar, Mr. James Stowe, and Advocate Sushant Samudrala. Needless to say, they all are great masters in the field and they're great resources for our student community of FAB. However, we are sorry to say that Mr. Raj Kapoor is unable to be with us because he had to hospitalize his wife with serious COVID infection. We wish her a very speedy recovery. Let me briefly explain the FAB Association. We have
I would request everyone to please keep their mics off.
We have a humble agenda. FAB is a decentralized platform for imparting digital knowledge and facilitating intelligence proliferation among the youth. Let us try to understand it in the background of development since 2008, with the melting of the global economy. New technology erupted with a vengeance, shouting to change the entire banking system and socio-economic arrangements. there was not only bashing of banks, but also of intermediaries, and there was a clamor to remove all the intermediaries in all economic activities so that the maximum benefit can go to the real players and real participants of the transaction. And on the social front, there was call for financial inclusion and removing all top and bottom levels, like merging of all tiers of society, so that there should be absolute financial inclusion, equality. So we were facing two currents at the same time, one on economic, one on the social one. And it all started with the technology. And the spearhead was the new technology, Bitcoin and other crypto coins, all have spread. It was peer-to-peer spread, because that time, even now, so many countries are not allowing cryptocurrencies.
Please keep your mics off. It's a humble request. Yes, sir, please continue.
The whole spread of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin was peer-to-peer. And that is why it was so fast, and it crossed all boundaries, all the length and breadth of the globe. Now, we want to bring the same spread of education, digital education, from one length to the other breadth of the globe among the students by way of peer-to-peer interaction and peer-to-peer expansion, so that the same intensity, the same strength of peer-to-peer expansion of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin that we saw right from 2008, the same thing can be replicated with education, because without digital education and technological knowledge, the younger generation cannot move, because now the situation has changed. We are not in the old era. We are now talking of Industry 4.0. Industry 4.0 is based on big data, AI, machine learning, Internet of Things. All these things have totally changed the contour of our technology. If you see from our historical times, when Homo sapiens, we were just moving on our hands and legs. Now, when human beings started walking, then they started using wooden spears to kill fish and catch fish. So that was a new technology. From there we have grown, and it has evolved itself in so many forms. And now we can see where we are. And like if you create the different levels of industrial development, so with industrial revolution, there has been a total transformation of industry and technology. Now we call it Industry 4.0, but at the same time, with the sociological revolution and ideas that are emerged and that are combining with Industry 4.0, it is knocking at the doors of Industry 5.0. And the way we are moving with metaverse, the AR, VR, MR, we are also moving towards Industry 6.0. So this is how knowledge and technology is moving and expanding itself. So now let me rephrase the FAB Association. It is a decentralized platform of the students, by the students and for the students, trying to create peer-to-peer spread of digital education, even to remote areas, so that all become literate. It is enterprise to peer learning management system. This is how we will describe our FAB Association. Now, what we see, we are presently in the throes of a massive technological revolution. Cryptocurrency and blockchain are the main pillars of it. Like we have our DNA, wherein all our information is stored. And even after millions of years, if you get a part of a bone or hair, and all information can be extracted. So same way, the present technology has blockchain as the DNA of its system. Now, why this blockchain is very important? Because it is creating distributed ledgers for recording your information and recording all the information. And it is moving in a linear manner, creating different blocks of information, which are interconnected to each other. With distributed ledger system, no one can fudge it. No one can change it unilaterally. So it is safe. It cannot be altered uh, individually. No one can do it singly. All have to be in unison and take the final decision to incorporate any change or to add any information or to change any information. Then that consensus is created and any change is effected. So that is how the technology is moving. Now, with that, what has happened? It started with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. Now, cryptocurrency, if you define cryptocurrency, it has cryptographic elements. That means information which cannot be, hijacked by others, and it moves from peer to peer. So it is a secret way of, or coded way of passing your information from one to another. Now, with that, what happens? If you want to say that these cryptocurrencies should become our legal tender. Now, what is legal tender? Legal tender is our fiat currency. Fiat currency is the monetary sovereignty of a country. It is backed by the might of the country, all the assets of a country. Whereas if you see cryptocurrency, they don't have any assets behind it. But of course, now we are not discussing entire types of cryptocurrency. Otherwise, I will have to explain to you that, okay, there are utility coins, there are stable coins, there are security tokens. So there are different varieties. So now we are trying to put asset behind those cryptocurrencies. But basically, cryptocurrencies were without any asset. And those cryptocurrencies cannot be considered legal tender because they don't have the acceptance of the government of the country. Now, government cannot surrender their rights and their supremacy to a cryptocurrency which has the ability to cross all boundaries. Because when you are doing peer-to-peer transaction, there is no regulation to stop it. You are in India, your peer is in US, and the transaction is being done. Now here in India, we have Reserve Bank of India regulations for moving all your forex. How do you control that? So there are so many issues and incidences that have to be taken care of. That is why it is very difficult for India right now to have a cryptocurrency as the legal tender. Moreover, Indian society is divided in so many parts, sections, tiers, I should say, strata. So those tiers have to be thoroughly diluted and melted. Only then you can have unanimity of any idea or any currency, cryptocurrency. Now, in the remote areas, there is no knowledge, there is no education which is there. So how do you expect that such a complex digital information can become a part of even rural India, which can be accepted by all and easily executed by all? It is not possible. That is why I think for the time being, it is too early to have cryptocurrency. But yes, we may have digital rupee, like in China has e-yuan, digital yuan, by which they have reached 230 million of its population is using that digital yuan. But that has different agenda because, monetary sovereignty is one side, and then there are different political ambitions of countries. So there are hidden agenda behind countries to move with their economy. And of course, China has one belt, one road system in which they are trying to create a big trade area. So in that, digital yuan will be very useful. So that is why China has moved very, very fiercely with digital yuan. And undoubtedly, China is at #1 position with all the blockchain experiments and the cryptocurrency. Of course, they have stopped it also, and they are trying to, but they have different system. India has a different system, democratic system, by which we cannot take over everything from people. So this is how I perceive that digital cryptocurrency is not feasible for India right now. You can see El Salvador uh, adopted Bitcoin as their legal tender. Why? Because El Salvador in Latin America was has a very poor economy. So they thought that with the big value that Bitcoin is carrying in the crypto market, they can boost their domestic economy. So right now they have legal tender as Bitcoin, and the official currency for international transaction is US dollar. But now you can see what has happened. Nearly $1 trillion valuation of crypto economy has been wiped out within this month. So what will be the total liquidity position, or say the monetary position of a country if they are making cryptocurrency as their legal tender? Because they are very, like, they're not stable. So value is you see Elon Musk, he talks about some currency, crypto coin, the value goes up, he reaps the benefit, and then he dumps it, then pump and dump. That is the policy which crypto traders and crypto holders are using. So these are the problems, and India has specific conditions. So we'll have to move very cautiously with all these situations. And coming back to our own agenda of FAB, that we are trying to have the technology and socio-economic union meet with the educational agenda, and we can reach the remote corners of country by way of peer-to-peer connect and spread digital education so that everyone becomes technologically savvy and not illiterate. Thank you very much. I think I've taken a long time. So.
No, sir, definitely not. Thank you so much, sir. Indeed, it was a great, I hope we all have noted down some important points out of it. So next, I request Mr. Raj Kapoor is not here. I request Mr. James though to kindly come on the screen and share his words. Please, sir.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, FAB, for inviting me to speak this webinar. It's good to see you guys. Crypto and blockchain have already disrupted traditional finance and even businesses, paving a new wave of possibilities. There are approximately 4 billion people who own a cell phone, but around 1.7 billion individuals do not have bank accounts. So let's break it down even further. 26% of the unbanked share that cost is an important barrier against getting a bank account, while 30% of the unbanked said that they do not need a bank account, and 22% said that financial institution, which is the banks, are too far away, especially for people living in a huge country. So being a democratic company, being a democratic force for the world, crypto has the potential. Give me a second. The crypto has the potential to make sure that money and purchases move freely around the world. Needless to say, cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and crypto exchanges have the power to change this reality, as it has the potential to level the playing field around the world and giving people access to financial services, introducing them to the global economy. In 2020, the three biggest exchanges worldwide, Huobi, Binance, and OKX, accounted for 77% of global crypto volume. Crypto exchanges act as a bridge by allowing individuals to purchase their first and subsequent cryptocurrencies and before diving further into other sections of the industry. I would say that the crypto revolution is comparable to the adoption of the internet. It sounds confusing now. It sounds confusing now, but it opens many doors to both individuals and businesses. Global adoption of cryptocurrency grew over 880% in 2021. The increase in crypto adopters around the world can be attributed to established companies integrating crypto into their services and products. Recently, Google announced that they are partnering with Coinbase and BitPay to create digital cards to store cryptocurrency on Google Pay. Microsoft has also recently entered the metaverse with Activision Blizzard to gain access to blockbuster games such as Call of Duty and Candy Crush. Walmart has plans to create their own cryptocurrency and NFTs. And just last year, El Salvador announced the adoption of Bitcoin as a legal tender. Just like what Dr. Sindhu said, there's no doubt that the world is slowly but surely going towards mass adoption of cryptocurrencies. According to the Economic Times, all large crypto exchanges saw at least 100% increase in their trading and investment in 2021. From how I see it, crypto exchanges help facilitate the adoption of crypto by allowing users to take part in spot and futures trading before diving down to the complexity of what the industry has to offer. But it's not just that. Crypto exchanges also allow staking, derivatives, and NFT marketplaces and become a one-stop shop for many. Here in CoinStore, we would like to think that we are the force that drive you to take control of life. Crypto can provide stability, freedom, and empowerment to people with different background, ethnicity, and beliefs. Being financial freedom to those who are born in underprivileged countries and giving them the same opportunities as the rest of the world is what we like to achieve as a company. Before doing this, we will have to educate the general public on crypto and blockchain. We are currently working on CoinStore Academy through a partnership with FAB, where we aim to educate and ease individuals into the idea of putting their asset online. We aim to lead the world into a new era surrounding digital asset and blockchain. We have a number that's at the back of our heads, and it's 1 billion users. Our dream has always been to warm the crypto community up and also to bring the technology to our everyday life. Thank you so much for your time. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Now I request Shelly Fantastic Ma'am to please come on the screen and share her words with us.
Hi there, everybody. Firstly, thank you for having me here today. I really appreciate your time today, all of you, everybody that's here today. It's a great honor because time is one of the most precious commodity that we all have here as human beings on this world. I am Shelly Fantastic, the founder of She Fan Pro, Empowered Women in Blockchains. It's a company that I incorporated about 18 months ago. We're UK based and we have a global reach. We have over 25 partnerships now, which is fantastic because now we can connect and come together and reach the people that really need the help to grow in the space in a safe way through education and empowerment. Cryptocurrency and blockchain is still a male-dominated space. Even in these times where women are becoming more and more liberated and we're becoming more empowered in our own right. She Fan Pro is here to level that playing field and to give all women an equal opportunity to A, get the acknowledgement that they truly deserve for already being in the space and the great work that they do, but also for women that think that they can't join the space or they don't know how, or they're too old, or their circumstances won't allow them to learn and grow in this space. So when we talk about blockchain, we talk about inclusivity, we talk about empowerment, we talk about transparency, we talk about bringing new ways for the future, not just for ourselves, but for our other generations. We've got an opportunity here to make some great change through blockchain, through the technology that it brings us. And it's still growing. It's still very, very early days yet. There's a lot to learn, but as women, as human beings, we can do it far better when we do it together. I'm really looking forward to taking questions at the end of this call, but also just to look at some of the job opportunities moving forward, especially as we exit this COVID global pandemic that has struck us all in so many different ways. The opportunities for us to grow in this area, not only are, for developers, but legal, education, teaching, pharmaceutical, health, the list goes on, agriculture, the list goes on. And it's well worth exploring some of these opportunities. And actually, if I can do it, then I firmly believe that anybody can do it. Thank you very much for your time, everybody. I'm very honoured to be here, and I'm looking forward to taking questions at the end.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Indeed, it's a great thing to listen to you. Due to some unforeseen reason, we have just got a message that Professor Dr. Ajay Kumar won't be able to join us, but let's move ahead. And I want to call upon Sai Sushant to come on the screen and please share his words with us.
Very good evening to all the participants and also the organizers for organizing this wonderful talk today. Due to some technical issue, I'm unable to come on the video. So I hope I'm audible. I'm extremely sorry for not being able to switch on my camera. So first of all, I think I would just like to add some points to the discussion today. I believe that sessions like this would be acting as key catalysts to come up with certain key parameters which would help in defining the laws relating to cryptocurrency, because I believe that different stakeholders' perspectives would have to be considered while coming up with certain regulations specific to these kinds of technologies, maybe blockchain, maybe artificial intelligence, as also cryptocurrency. Given this situation, because I come from the legal background, I just want to understand and tell you that, cryptocurrency is something that's become a very, very hot topic today, and most probably even a lot of young entrepreneurs, or let's say people who just are getting into their job, are looking at primarily for the purpose of getting some kinds of short gains within a very short period of time. But let me tell you one thing, right? As I'm not starting with a negative note, but I just wanted to share two very interesting cases that came to me during this pandemic period from a cryptocurrency perspective. Number one, we had a client of mine who actually tried to invest in cryptocurrencies, and he did nothing. He bought the cryptocurrency in Indian rupees, and then he sold them in the market for US dollars. And this short amount of there's some crosstalk happening. Can I request the people to just switch off their microphones, please?
I request Priyanka Kumari to please. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir,
Sorry.
please continue.
Yeah. So we had a client who actually tried to invest in cryptocurrency. What they did was, I think there's some issue again. I appreciate if the organizers can, mute. Yeah, thank you so much. I personally think that the organizers should mute everybody and ensure that no crosstalks happen. Otherwise, we just be drifting away from the main topic of discussion today. So I just wanted to tell you about this case wherein a client of mine invested in cryptocurrency. All he did was purchase the same in Indian rupees and sell them in US dollars. And this earned him a short term gain, shall I say, he got a little amount of money, and lo and behold, once he did the transaction and things like that, within few days, there was a notice sent to him from the enforcement agencies telling that, hey, we understand that you invested in cryptocurrency and you made some short-term gain. So just help us understand what's the source of your income. Well, this person, because as you all know today, that most of these transactions that you take place through these crypto exchanges and things like that are not located in India, and some of them do not also give you proper kinds of receipts of purchase or sale. So that being the situation, even case of money laundering was registered on as part of the other offenses being charged upon this individual. The reason is that he was not able to showcase the source of this income which he had acquired by investing and trading in cryptocurrency. So why this kind of a situation? There's actually nothing illegal about it. He has done a legitimate trade, but however, in the absence of a regulation or law, even these simple investments and these simple kinds of trading that we all do for the purpose of getting a short-term gain or a short-term profit, shall I say, can land us in huge amount of legal trouble, including money laundering, which is a very serious offense. So all I wish to tell you is, if you're the person who's actually trying to invest in cryptocurrency, well, then I would say please be watchful and cautious, because the fact remains is that we don't have a legal regulation as of now in India. Not just that, one of the very interesting situations that I want to tell you is that, if cryptocurrency is not being made the legal tender in India, there's also a talk that cryptocurrencies will be considered as an asset. So if they are considered to be an asset, then indirectly what's going to happen is they're going to be acting as an indirect form of becoming a legal tender per se. Now you'll say, how can this be possible? Because the fact remains that how can you tell me that once I start engaging in these kinds of crypto assets, there'll be an indirect recognition of the same as a legal tender. Just think for example, that if you have an asset and you want to exchange that asset for a cash to that extent, then what happens in that scenario? So indirectly it becomes a legal tender. So that be the situation. uh, any asset that's exchanged for a cash or for anything like consideration can be considered to be indirectly a form of legal tender. So that's also one side of the coin that's been heard. And a lot of times I also keep telling this example that cryptocurrencies 100% cannot be banned. Even if they're banned, there are going to be a lot of legal policy regulatory frameworks that will come on the table, given the fact that these are all digital. So thanks to the internet, that geography has been made a history. So given this situation, I think it's at the minute the need of the hour to come up with a legal regulation to throw light upon the legal status of cryptocurrency, broadly speaking, because I come from the legal background and I'm specializing in cyber laws and technology related legal matters. So let me tell you that if you ask me as a cyber lawyer, what's the status of cryptocurrency as on today? Broadly speaking, all these transactions are digital transactions. And when you look at the Indian cyber law, it clearly states that anything that you do legally through digital medium, that becomes electronic record and that can be legally recognized. So all these transactions that you take, the example of cryptocurrency that take place here, because you have crypto wallets coming in where all your cryptocurrency will be stored and then you can do transactions using the same. Everything makes use of digital environment, makes use of computers, computer systems, computer networks, computer resources, as also communication devices and data or information in the electronic format. So that being the position, on a broader note, even cryptocurrency related transactions can be considered legally valid under the existing Indian cyber law. But however, specific aspects with respect to its legal tender have not been defined under the said law. So in this scenario, I would also try to put in a point that though we have countries who are now trying to consider having specific regulations to cryptocurrency, I think it's the need of the hour that the government comes up with certain direction in order to ensure that cryptocurrency's legal status is given some clarity. Not just that, just like to conclude by saying that a lot of cryptocurrency related crimes are taking place today all across the country. So we started to receive a lot of calls from various people, wherein they say that there was some kind of a crypto related exchange or crypto related transactions which were sent as part of links, and the moment people started picking on these links, and they lost out either access to their devices, or they lost out their complete money to their, which is linked to their bank accounts, or they lost out the sensitive and confidential and personal information of theirs which is residing in their respective devices. So crypto crimes are also on the rise and on the galore. So in this situation, unless there is some kind of a legal clarity with respect to its legal tender and its legal acceptability, I think these situations will still be continuing to come up every now and then. So this be the situation. I just want to conclude by saying that it's not just limited to blockchain, though we talk about blockchain being decentralized ledger. Taking the example of this own conference, right? In a very simplistic sense, if I were to talk about blockchain, consider that this entire event is a blockchain, right? All of us are blocks, and we are connected to the organizer, who is the peer-to-peer provider, and whatever your meeting ID password was given, consider this to be cryptography. We are all connected to this wonderful platform, and whatever are the the photographs or the videos that you're able to see on the screen of different speakers are only visible to you. They cannot be visible to anybody else unless the same is shared outside in public forums, maybe social media and things like that. So this is the entire concept of blockchain in a nutshell. So where we are all able to see it's transparent, yet I cannot change the content because I cannot change or edit or modify or alter the videos of any speakers today. So that being the situation, all these demonstrate the characteristics of a blockchain in a very simple and a very practical manner. And one of the ways of using blockchain is also for verification of cryptocurrency. So it's also kind of a regulator which brings in certain kinds of checks and balances. So you'll be able to understand and track down cryptocurrencies, and thereby reducing the or rather eliminating the concept of intermediaries or third parties per se. But however, the challenges still keep continuing because this is only one form and not the only form. Today, NFTs are also on the rise. We see a lot of people, either they make use of their artwork like paintings, photographs, and things like that, or even movie clips, dialogues from movies, scenes from movies, or if you're a sports buff, then the different kinds of shots, maybe the shot which made India lift the World Cup, or maybe the shot which made India win a particular match, or for that matter, any of your Marvel collection, or be it any of your favorite comics, like Amar Chitrakatha and things like that. Everything today can become an NFT, non-fungible token, and you can try to go ahead and monetize the same and earn certain revenue out of the same. And how is all these transactions? How are all these transactions taking place? They're taking place through NFT platforms, wherein cryptocurrency is also playing a very important role in acting as a exchange medium in these NFT transactions. So I think the usage, the applicability is not just limited to blockchain, but it's far beyond blockchain and the like. So I just want to conclude by saying one thing, that the regulations will have to be very specific, and will have to give out some clarity, keeping in view the applicability, the wideness, and also the broad usage of cryptocurrency in multiple areas. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's been my pleasure to talk to all of you this evening. Thank you, organizers, for including me at the last minute. And I'll be more than happy to answer your specific questions with respect to cryptocurrencies and any legal issues. Thank you so much. And stay safe and stay cyber secure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. It was very informative, and we have just saw the practical examples when you were discussing about the Zoom and everything. Thank you so much for your words, sir. Now requesting everyone to please.
And Dhruv, we can have a panel discussion, right, for all the speakers.
Right.
We have Mr. Ramesh with us. We have Sindhu Bhaskar sir with us. We have Suman sir with us, and we have Selim ma'am is also with us. So we can have the panel discussion.
Absolutely, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right now we have Mr. Ramesh giving the his
Yep.
speech now.
Requesting Ramesh to please come on the screen. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes, am I audible? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So
Perfectly.
yeah, hi. So I am Ramesh Rikonda, and I am part of CoinStore. And thank you, Sindhu sir and FAB Association for giving this wonderful platform. Okay, to be here and address so many leaders in blockchain and crypto space, and having different domain expertise. So it's wonderful to be here. If you all have any questions, definitely, I'll be happy to answer them. Okay, from CoinStore perspective or from blockchain or a crypto perspective. So my role is more into strategic partnership listing. I've got more than 5 years experience in blockchain and crypto, and prior to that, I was working in a technology space. So this is so as a panel member today, I think most of you all have already shared about the strengths of blockchain and the current challenges. What the blockchain and the crypto, especially the crypto, is going through. Okay, yes, I was. I was hearing all the leaders speaking about blockchain and their views on it. So it's great. As far as India is considered, definitely we are waiting for regulations to come up. Okay, still it is in a drafting stage right now. So as Sushant said that yes, it cannot be banned completely. Okay, at the same time it cannot be considered as a legal tender, but yes, of course there is a scope of getting recognized from the government as assets. So I'm sure that there will be a lot of illegal implications which will be coming in terms of taxations and how it is going to be taxed. So there will be, it will be very similar to if I say in a real estate industry, a long time back there was no RERA, and I think RERA was introduced, and all the people who were directly involved in constructions or building, okay, they had to abide with this rules and regulations of RERA. Okay, because it was completely new for India. But prior to that, there was no rules and regulations. Maybe it was, but that was not as closely monitored as today. Okay, so similarly, I think this regulations, when it will come, we would need a lot of advisors, a lot of expertise, okay, to help out all the innovators, okay, who are currently working on blockchain space or a crypto space. They are working in NFTs, metaverse. There are many entrepreneurs, okay, who are working on different use cases, especially utility dApps. They're working closely with governments. Okay, they are creating many utility dApps for the benefit of the community and to the people. Okay, by eliminating middleman, bringing transparency, and giving a kind of a design and a structure using blockchain as a technology. Because the end of the day, the data, how the data is going to be secured. Okay, so I think that is one of the underlying strength of blockchain. So I think I'll probably end my end my speech here, and I would love to address any questions you have regarding CoinStore. I think CoinStore is an exchange. We have a headquarter in Singapore. Currently, we are only crypto to crypto exchange, and definitely we have around 300 users across Southeast Asia and Asia, and we are expanding very aggressively in Africa and in European countries. Okay, we have very strong backup company based out of China, and we have some of the leaders as a part of our management team who are previously worked as CEOs and founders of some top exchanges. Okay, so as very recently there was a media release, press on many top social news channels about CoinStore, that one of the announcement which we made as a management, that we are going to spend around $20 million for our expansion plan in Q1 and Q2, and specifically India is of course is a great potential. Okay, I think everybody knows about India. So definitely India is ours, close to our heart. So we are expanding very aggressively in India, but also other countries too. Okay, so that is all about CoinStore, and I think yes, I'll end my speech here, and over to you, Saurav, and
Yes, sir. Thank you so
So
much, sir.
Dhruv, we are going for the question answer session because we are getting a lot of questions from the
Yeah, right.
students.
So I would request the students to please unmute themselves one by one and just ask questions if possible. We can do that, right, sir?
I guess we can like read the questions from the chat box itself, and if like people are
No, I
interested.
think one of the questions which was asked, I replied directly on the chat box only. Okay, so I think
Okay, I'll
Harshit,
just read out one. Yeah, right, sir.
I think Harshit asked a question. Okay, and I think this question is, can we expect that in the near future, like we go to the bank and ask for your cryptocurrency to be converted into our currency? Mean such type of normalization, can we expect that? Okay, so I think what you trying to mean that, can he, I mean, the question is specifically, if I'm not wrong, that can we go to a bank and ask the bank to give us INR, okay, Indian rupees against a crypto asset? Like today, how we go to Manapuram, or there are many companies wherein we can go and encash our gold. Okay, so he's asking similar situation. So I think it's too early to comment on that, because because we're still under the process of drafting the regulation. Okay, so if it's too long way to go, to reach out to that stage that we can just go to the bank and ask for INR, because of course there is a consent from RBI, there is consent from different regulatory bodies, the special committee which is already formed, okay, and of course the government of India. So they should pass this regulation, okay, and only then this is possible. So I think that's a very specific answer which I can have at this point of time. Okay, but yes, if anybody want to trade crypto, and they can of course register, themselves and follow a proper KYC, okay, and AML policies on some of the reliable exchanges which are currently available in India and outside India also, where they can participate in trading, and there are various products available on the exchange, and then definitely they can convert into fiat, okay, as per the exchange terms. Okay, so that is possible. I'm not saying all exchanges, but yes, there are few exchanges they can do it.
Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. Next question we have from Deepika Kansal. It's for Shelly ma'am. I want to ask Shelly ma'am, as the pandemic resets major work trends, so what are the major changes that we can expect post-COVID for women, especially in this field?
Hi, everybody. I think we can expect more equal opportunities for women moving forward, more senior positions to be held, in business, in work streams, and so on, and more recognition really for the contribution and the knowledge base that the women have, and the skills and the abilities that they have. So definitely, and when this happens, our lifestyle improves, doesn't it? Our confidence, our general well-being improves, which is so important. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. I don't know if any of the other panel want to add to that, or before we move on.
Right, ma'am. So the next question we have from Keshav Agarwal. I think Sindhu sir has already answered.
Yeah, the next question that we have is from Harshit. I guess that question is answered. So I guess the next question we have is from Bhavna. Is India working on its own CMDC? What is the panel's views on that?
So first of all, my question will be, what is CMDC? Do you intend to say CBDC?
I think she has misspelled it. So
Yes.
Okay, so CBDC is basically central bank digital currency. So as the onslaught of cryptocurrency is too much and it is putting a lot of pressure on government, and government cannot lose its control over economy, because that is how political parties work, because they have to win the election. So they have to influence the voters. And for influencing the voters, you have to control the purse of the country. So in that situation, no party wants to lose control of money power. So CBDCs, cryptocurrencies are a big threat to government, because they talk of decentralized economy, decentralized setup, wherein there is no control, and they don't want government control. Now, this is too far-fetched also, because I should say men are social animal. We all are social beings. We cannot be 100% I should say free. If we are 100% free and keep everything under our control, then there will be no accommodation for anyone else. It will be only I, not us concept, which will be prevailing. So that will lead to friction and fight. So compromise formula is always we, in which we have to adjust to different ambitions and egos of oneself. So that is what is happening. By CBDC, we are trying to control all those authoritative egos of decentralized principles, that we don't try to create a situation wherein we lose control of everything, but at the same time, government moves through its own side with the digital proposition, and try to, you have Bahamas signed dollars, you have Cambodian CBDC, even China is working on CBDC, Nigeria came out with their CBDC. So many countries, practically every country is working on CBDC. So they are trying to create those CBDCs because they're thinking that digital currencies are a good way to reach to the remotest areas and create the financial inclusion. So as I told you earlier in my earlier address, that with technology on the social front, there was another issue of creating financial inclusion, banking the unbanked, banking for all. Those issues and those themes were also erupting. So there was movement and like revolutionary trends in all sectors of life, not only in economy and finance. So CBDC is trying to bridge that gap and try to harness the power of digital currency and make it reach to remote countries, because you have to create money power in the hands of all those people. Otherwise, what will happen? There will be no demand for products, and when there is no demand for product, the production will come down, and that's how the national economy will suffer. So to give a boost to national economy, you have to make money reach all parts of your country and create more purchasing power. That purchasing power will create growth in national economy. So those are so many things, like money supply, principles of money supply, those are involved. As I told you, monetary sovereignty, those are involved. Threat of cryptocurrency, those are involved. And again, how to balance autocratic power of government to control the financial purse of the country, even those principles are concerned. So a lot of things are combined together to create a semblance of unity of purpose with CBDC.
Thank you so much, sir. I hope you got that answer, Bhavna. Next, we have Ritvik with his question. Ritvik, please.
Yeah. Hi, good evening, everyone. So my question is for Sushant, sir. My question is that since the knowledge about cryptocurrency is very much limited to Indians, I am assuming that. So, should before the government brings out this bill on cryptocurrency, and even if I see today, there are so many advertisements that are also run on cryptocurrency. There are some apps also on Google Play Store that allow trading on cryptocurrency and blockchain. So, isn't it like before we bring this bill or any sort of discussion on that, shouldn't the police authorities as well as the legal fraternity should also be trained on this thing? Why I am saying this, because in last year in Tamil Nadu there were so many organizations which were banned by the government of India as they were trading through blockchain and cryptocurrency. They were funding the terrorist organizations, but the local police authorities, they could not track them. It was only after 5 or 6 months that the CBI and the special authorities tracked them. So what are the views of Sushant sir on this thing?
Thank you so much, Ritvik. I think, it's a wonderful question. Uh, so let me tell you something. It's not just on cryptocurrency per se, but I would tell you that, the basic understanding of how a blockchain operates also would be very essential for the enforcement agencies. And I also myself train a lot of enforcement agencies. I'm part of the CDTI, as also the other agencies where we train different kinds of enforcement agencies of different cadres, ranging from a sergeant to the top IPS officers and the higher cadre officials. But the major problem is that the training programs here unfortunately do not focus on the fundamental aspects. And given the fact that these crypto related exchanges also are getting themselves registered either in another country, or they operate through an excess which is an LI or something like that, which is in some other country, brings in the question of jurisdiction here. Because like I told you, internet is something that has brought the entire geography as a history. Sitting here in one place, I can go ahead and trade of on the platform which is located in some other country. Now, for that matter, look at Singapore. Singapore has also come up with certain regulations on exchanges. There has been a licensing system where if you want to go ahead and run an exchange, crypto exchange, you need to acquire the respective license. But per se, they are legal in their country. But what happens if I, sitting in one part of the country in India, go ahead and do a transaction over there? So there's a question of jurisdiction that will come into picture here. So apart from that, though the Information Technology Act, which is currently the Indian cyber law, is broad enough under Section 75 and Section 1, Subsection 2, wherein it specifies that any person, irrespective of any nationality, in case is affecting any computer, a computer resource, and communication device physically located in India, can be brought under this ambit. There's absolutely a gray area in that terms. The police officers are not able to understand and comprehend the fact that these people can also be booked as co-accused. If thanks to the latest guidelines, also you've seen that 2021 guidelines also have been released, and including the social media companies like Twitter and Facebook also were forced to comply with the with these regulations, wherein they went on to come up with grievance mechanism in order to come up with coordination with the enforcement agencies 24/7. So yes, definitely, as you said, enforcement agencies and the legal fraternity will have to be aware of the basics and fundamentals, and also their opinions also have to be gathered so as to put forth the practical challenges from their experience, which will be acting as a fundamental point in coming up with this regulation. Because end of the day, what I believe is consultation with different stakeholders will be very helpful for coming up with a comprehensive draft, rather than we just do a cut copy paste from any other country's laws. Because this will be able to address not just the theoretical challenges but also the practical problems being faced by different stakeholders, including the investigators. So I think definitely a lot of boot camps, awareness sessions would have to be conducted before this gets on the table. Because as it is now, the crypto related crimes are already on the horizon, and in case they're not addressed, probably I believe that there's no point coming up with any regulation to curb these practices of illegal cryptocurrency trading and exchange.
If you allow me to add a couple of things here, because of the wallet to wallet transaction, what happens, as I told earlier, that there is no control on those transactions. So anyone can transfer any money to any party. And as he has been saying very rightly, that since the companies are exchanges are registered in different countries, and they can operate here, like we have so many exchanges operating in India, which are partner of either Binance or Coin DCX and all those. So many of them, I am not very much interested towards them. But what happens that they just keep on transacting all those P2P transactions. So they don't come into the dragnet. Now, whenever we talk of private key and public key for any transaction, if we have some sort of OTP type of system for completing a transaction, even wallet to wallet, then only I think we can control all these transactions, and we can even tax them, and there will be proper KYC and AML for all those things, because they will get caught there, because the transaction cannot happen without OTP type of some facility. So I think that is only one system which I have been thinking of to control such wallet to wallet transactions.
Thank you so much, sir. I guess we have a question from Keshav to Sindhu sir as well only. According to you, sir, what are the main reasons behind that? Why government is restricting themselves to accept crypto as a legal tender?
Why?
Why India is resisting themselves to accept crypto as a legal tender?
Yeah, because I have been saying that government does not want to dilute its power over the purse of the country. So they want to retain full control over cash power. Second thing is, crypto is highly volatile. Today, the price is, you can see, Bitcoin was $49,000, and then now it is below $40,000. So volatility is so much that you can lose money like anything. Then thirdly, there is no traceability of the transactions in cryptos. So there cannot be control over movement of funds. These are three, and since there is no control, you cannot even create incidents of taxation over those movement of funds. So these are four major considerations why government is cannot and can never accept cryptocurrency as a legal tender. Even if you make me the head of the country, even I will resist, because that cannot be done. That cannot be done, because there are monetary sovereignty issues, and that cannot be diluted just in name of decentralization. Yes, we can have different systems, different setups, and different regulatory measures to have more freedom of economic transactions and removing intermediaries. But you cannot totally subsume and totally dissolve the financial system of a country just in name of financial freedom and decentralization.
Thank you so much, sir. We are really fortunate to have such a brilliant panel today. So this question is for every member, panel member. Any one of you can answer this. Apart from being a transaction method, does cryptocurrency have any other functions? This is the question by S. Rao.
See, as I can see, apart from just doing transactions, see, there are also certain other things where this can come into picture. For example, if it's something like an asset, as I discussed with you, it can be exchanged. And if it is used as a some kind of an object where basically, if it is able to, even you yourself can do that. Something like a utility, where you come up with your own utility kind of a cryptocurrency and use the same for this kind of a webinar. So it can be also something like that, just as without any specific goal or purpose. For example, you just say that people who attended this session today will be given some kind of a cryptocurrency. It's something like strictly for fun or strictly as a token of memory or something like that. Even that can be done with the help of cryptocurrency. May not always be for transaction purpose. So I believe that, because we already started to see those kind of cases also which have come to us, basically something like a meme or something like strictly created for fun and not for anything else. So I can see that also on the horizon.
I
And
hope
they can
if
also be for a
you
respective
can
project or a
classify,
object.
sorry, go ahead.
No, they can also be used for a particular purpose or an object. Let's say that, if you're creating it for a particular objective or for a specific project, then you can also look at that. So, the SIA coin, it has something to do with the cloud storage and things like that. So that's also something where no signups and no things are taking place over there. It just leverages this kind of a technology for creating a data storage marketplace, which is more than a traditional cloud storage provider.
Yeah. See, if you see the evolution of cryptocurrency and how they started. So first they were using it for their personal or say P2P gaming purposes. Then seriously after 2008, if you see the evolution of cryptos in the market, they first came as utility tokens only. Then after that, they became security tokens. Then came like stable coins. Then you got with all this, there was DeFi movement, so decentralized finance. So there were stable coins, security tokens. Then after that, we had the initial was, as I said, utility tokens. And of course, Bitcoin was utility token, but since the passion of people is so much there, and there is so much of people support, millennial support to Bitcoin because of the valuation that it has given to them and to the say economic stature that millennials have gained vis-a-vis Bitcoin, that no one wants to leave Bitcoin because they have become millionaires and billionaires. No one wants to that to become zero. So that is why, as a compromise formula now, Bitcoin is a value-based token. So you have utility, you have value. Now you have again NFTs. You have the genuineness of assets, and those are creative, describing your assets. Then you have like in lending also, you have tokens like for yield farming tokens, we call them. And Aave is one, yes, Aave is one company which is involved in yield farming tokens. So likewise, there are multiple usage and multiple purposes of cryptocurrency. It is no more restricted to just one transactional aspect. There are multi-transactions based on the usage, you can say.
Thank you so much, sir. I guess the next question we have from Ashutosh. So it is open to all of the panel, all of the members. Can government launch its own crypto that will be legal in India? And if so, then what will be their pros and cons, as it is, will be heavily influenced by the government itself?
See, I will again say the same thing. Government is, every government is working. So government of India also must be working. They don't want to come out in the open because they may have their own reasons to be secretive about it or keeping it as a classified information. Then there were talks of Lakshmi coin that was supposed to be the digital rupee in place of digital rupee. So things like keep on coming in the market, but nothing concrete has come in from government. But still, even in spite of their opposition to cryptos, Bitcoin, they are not in a position to totally stop all those things. If they could have done that, the legislation would have been there. So they know that now a lot of money in India as well as globally, and different finances of different countries are involved to each other with these crypto economies. So no country can go ahead and totally crush it out, like I should say China, and call it illegal. Because there they have to take control of everything in government hand. so that the party should run the crypto business also. That's why they demolished all their big companies like Alibaba, Tencent, and all those things. But in India, US, Europe, those situations cannot be replicated. So they want to be more on the regulatory side of it rather than crushing it. But coming out with digital currencies or CBDCs, entirely prerogative of the government, and in which form, whether it is going to be single tier or double tier. If it is single tier, then it is absolute control. If it is double tier, then of course they are providing opportunity to financial intermediaries to assist them with the transaction. So there can be one central bank, the other can be the financial intermediaries. And if there is just single tier, then it will be just the central bank managing the entire issuance, distribution, but no government will like to have it, because central bank will be overworked and overburdened with 1.3 billion people. Every person have their compliance and all that. It is not possible to do like that. So we cannot think of even a centralized digital currency in India. But let us see how regulations shape up, and I think we should have more and more discussion over these issues, including in government panels. Then we can come up with some certain things. And Bank of International Settlement and all, your European countries, they are coming out with different models. Even US has come out with their version of discussion on CBDCs. So CBDCs, digital currencies, all are one or the same. It all depends how you call them. Even UAE has come out with their digital currency, cryptocurrency. So purpose has to be with the government and motive has to be with the government to do anything.
Thank you so much, sir. I hope Ashutosh, you got your answer. The next question we have for Mr. James. How does fintech companies make money?
So Mr. James is not there, so Mr. Ramesh will answer this question. Yeah.
Any panel member can answer this question.
No, so of course, I think it's a very good question. Like, how does a fintech companies make money? Okay, because no one is going to share their secret formula or the strategy, like, how we're going to make the money. But I can see that, the fintech companies and the scope of the growth in the next 5 years is tremendous. Okay, it is going to grow significantly. And if you talk about some of the fintech companies which are operating in India, okay, I think you can see some of the traditional fintech companies which like Paytm or there are many other companies. Okay, as an example, you have seen them growing. Okay, but again, when it comes to specifically for a crypto or a blockchain related fintech companies, and I think just see an example of WazirX or a CoinDCX. Okay, you see their users have grown even in the pandemic times. Okay, they have grown to 10x. Okay, they have all become unicorn. Okay, so of course, when they say that they have become a unicorn, that means there are some of the great VCs, venture capitalists or investors who are looking forward for these fintech companies. Okay, because they know the potential of crypto. Okay, especially in India. And definitely, all these companies, have certain strategy. Okay, for the next 2 years, 3 years time, and definitely, they are going to grow. So it gives also avenues. Okay, I think that was one other question I saw in the chat box, that about the various opportunities. So you see the it gives opportunities for jobs. Okay, like developers, like digital marketing. Okay, legal. Okay, and there are many avenues which are currently open. And I personally been into hiring, and the kind of niche skills which are required for blockchain, which are required for these industries. Okay, they also have evolved over the time, and it is the demand is very high, okay, and definitely the supply is very less. And I think that is the entire reason why we have collaborated with FAB, and that is one of the goal of FAB, to create awareness about blockchain, not only just to not only just giving awareness session, but also talking about the different job opportunities what the young people have today, or anybody who's enthusiast, they can enter. Okay, so that is one of the end goal which we want to meet. Okay, there are other goals also. So definitely fintech companies, I mean, 2-3 points which I would like to say, that of course they generate money because of users. Okay, more than users, the product is the power, okay, for any fintech company. Okay, how seamless it is. So definitely the more and more users use their services, of course, it is going to add revenue to them. I think that is one of the area why they this is how they make the money. Okay, how they achieve their top line. Okay, and of course there are various services which they offer, and against every service there is some service fee. Okay, so a traditional exchange would make money through transactions like any other stock broking companies they are doing today. Okay, so it's very similar.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much, sir.
Gauri, just a second.
Okay.
We have Dr. Geeti Sharma ma'am with us. Let's welcome her with a huge round of digital applause, please. I request everybody. Welcome, ma'am.
And I think we have Dr. Ajay sir is also with us.
Yes, I think we have Dr. Ajay.
Yeah, so
Okay, so
sir is
shall
also
we,
with us.
shall
I
we
think
move
there is
forward?
some.
Should we move forward?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So I guess next question we have from Abdul Latif. I hope that I'm pronouncing this name correctly. This is open to the panel. His question is, has there been any used case of blockchain in education? If yes, how is it applied?
See, we have come across some clients in this domain. So without sharing their complete business plan, I just like to give you that, the used case of blockchain in education, maybe for maintaining students and students' records, their, attendance, and the assignment and their answer sheets, and, things like that. Also to maintain the respective, records of the entire school, the administration records, and the records of the achievements or the other certifications that the education institution has, and also to maintain the information relating to the environment of the classes. Specifically now we are all in the digital or online classes, so I think all these also can be mapped onto the blockchain, where the classes, the time, I mean the recording of these classes and the schedules and all of these things can also be brought under the ambit of blockchain, as also the records of if there are any other things. For example, if there are, if the education and institution is hosting any kinds of events or any other things, all those things, all those basic records and information also can be primarily brought under this, apart from the online classes and the attendance and things like that. So these were some things we handled. So with that experience, I just thought of just pushing them on the table. There are lot many to it, but just want to end with these basic used cases. Thank you.
Thank you so
Just,
much, sir.
just adding to what Sushant said, yes, I think he has summarized all the use cases which are very known in using blockchain and having their own decentralized platforms. Okay, apart from that, there are also use cases where yeah.
Sir, please unmute yourself, Ramesh.
Yeah. Hello.
Okay. Yeah, it's
So,
audible.
so there are use cases, decentralized platforms. Where there are very few, okay, who are providing a decentralized platform for anybody who is subject matter expertise. For example, if I am I'm expert in foreign language, okay, so I can create my own tutorial videos, okay, very similar to YouTube, and I can create tutorial videos and I can post them as a subject matter expertise on these decentralized platforms, and then all the users who are part of these platforms, or the community who are part of these platforms, if they are interested in buying your tutorials, they can buy your tutorials by using utility tokens. Okay, so there are many other use cases which are in line, for education. Okay, not only studies, but also some of the unique skills also. Okay, so I thought just I'll put up this to the table for the benefit of the
Thank you
team.
so much, sir.
It
Next
is
question.
basically called digital 3.0 in education.
Yeah.
And that is interaction level, teaching level, so many levels, all possible levels of interaction between student, teacher, parent is recorded. So first becomes, if you name it specifically, it is like online proctoring services, we call it, which uses all this fintech different technologies, in which there are formats of examinations, corrections, exam surveillance. Even there are sensor cameras, which even like students are taking their exams. So they are looking, if you just turn your eyes this side, the sensor catches it that, okay, you are trying to cheat or trying to use some unfair means. So those surveillance things, IoT devices are there, which are being used for online proctoring services. Then correction, again, based on AI system, examination and format is there. And blockchain-based results are there, certifications. But the most important blockchain services in education sector is your mark sheet and your degree. Like there has been so many cases in India when people allege and try to say that their mark sheet is fabricated, forced, they were never even student of this organization institution and all. So those things can be wiped out. Those problems can never come, because on blockchain, those records can always be maintained. And as I said, those are distributed ledgers, a technique system. So those cannot be fuzzed. And whenever you want to retrieve those information, it can be retrieved. So that is what blockchain-based educational improvements has come, and it is called Education 3.0 or EduTech.
Thank you so much, sir. Next question we have from Ankita. It's basically for Sindhu, sir. That do you believe that cryptocurrency could be collapsed by the end of COVID-19?
No, why? Nothing should collapse. We have to be positive about everything. Cryptocurrency is not all bad. It has its own distinguishing features also, because cryptocurrency has that speed with which it can infiltrate to all the remote areas of a country. It has the potential to remove all the, and it has removed so many intermediaries from the financial transactions. That has reduced the cost of your transaction, which was the basic complaint against banking transactions. So cryptocurrency is good that way. So we have to be very objective in our decision and in our observation. We should never be subjective. And everything has got some good points, bad points. If you see the bad point of fintech, I can tell you that earlier, like all these legacy banks, they had big charges. And in social field, or if you go to remote areas, there were a high level of loans, and there were traditional zamindars and all those people, money lenders in market. Now what is happening? There are technical lenders now. You have so many lending companies which are charging 20%, 22%, that is interest flying. So those who have got money, now they are putting into all these sectors to plow interest for them. So interest plowing a technique. So if you see the net result, earlier we had human, say, extortionists. Now you have machine-based extortionists. So it is all the same. When you say that, okay, now the banks will die and fintech institutions will only remain in the market. But no, see, those banks have huge number of data because they were the only entities handling your money. So all data is with them. Now, they were charging higher interest, higher service charges. So they were supposed to be the perpetrators of or the enemy of the general common people. So everyone revolted against that. But they have money power. So these fintechs, startups, when they come up with ideas, they could go to the market to raise capital to execute their ideas. Now, those big banks, they have the power to purchase all those startups and play in the market. So would you substitute them? No, you cannot. But the working modality is changing. So that is the positive thing we should look at. So
Thank you so
everything
much,
has got plus minus. So don't worry about that. Nothing is going to change. Nothing is going to die. Everything will be there, but in a different form.
So the last question we have for Ms. Shelly ma'am, do we have a legit crypto broker job we have in, like what's the question? I'll just read it out. In stock market, there are broker and as a legit job, can we also expect it in crypto since it has no regulatory body? Ma'am, please.
Hi there. That's a good question. I think, pretty much anything is possible. I guess it's not something I've explored in great detail, but I think definitely anything is possible. We are still, as we said earlier, in the very, very early stages of this journey really with crypto and blockchain and related jobs, related opportunities. And, as one of our great panelists highlighted earlier, there are great pitfalls as well, that we need to be aware of. And this is why I firmly believe, that education is absolutely key to minimizing risk and keeping yourself safe as much as is possible. As another one of our great panelists said earlier, it is a very volatile space. And for that reason, we really need to protect ourselves by educating ourselves and learning and researching and not being afraid to ask a question. No question is a silly question. So that would be my answer. I don't know if any of the other panelists would like to add to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Sheila, ma'am. So when you say, job as a broker in any of the exchanges, so definitely every exchange has needs quite, they have various team like any other. Likewise, how the corporate company, they function. Okay, they have support function, they have sales team, they have technology team. They also have team wherein there are many liquidity managers, there are market making managers. Okay, there are people who are creating trading boards. There are also people who are creating different types of algorithm. Okay, so these are all the different opportunities, job opportunities, which any exchange today is giving to the entire community. Okay, so as my experience working in various exchanges has been that they work very similar to organization, to exchange or any other brokerage firm, how they are operating. It's only, in India, the stock market is governed by SEBI. However, currently we don't have regulation in place, but in future definitely we will have a regulation. Okay, but as I said that, there are multiple avenues which are open in blockchain. Okay, not only as a liquidity manager or a market manager, as a sales team developers, but I have worked in multiple companies, been one of the founder team member also. Just wanted to share this, this my experience. Okay, for example, I just wanted to create a video. Okay, and I was trying to find, the best, the best resource to create a video. Okay, a short video about introduction about the company. Okay, and I happened to go to one of this platform, and you won't believe. Okay, the moment I tried searching, okay, for someone, who can make video for me, okay, a freelancer. I happen to speak to a person, who's sitting in Dhaka. Okay, Dhaka, in a very remote village area. Okay, just sitting with a laptop. Okay, just sitting with a laptop. Okay, with his headphone. And imagine he created a video for me, and I was so impressed with him, because he comes from a tier 4 city, tier 4 village, rural area in Dhaka. And absolutely, but he was quite aware about crypto, about blockchain, because not only he was providing video as a service. Okay, but apart from that, he was also participating in many events which are open in blockchain. And I just asked him, hey, do you do any full-time job? He said, no, 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 dude, I don't do any full-time job. This is something which I'm doing from last 3 years, and over the time. So I asked him, like, so how much, how much assets, how much crypto you have? He told me that I've already got 100 Ethereum in my wallet. And in my wallet, 100 Ethereum. I said, 100 Ethereum. I mean, this was 1 year back when the crypto Ethereum price was, probably in 1,000. Okay, but today it is in 2,500. So can you imagine this? And all these assets he has created only by working for multiple companies, because all these crypto companies, they pay in digital assets. They don't pay you INR, or they don't pay you any other fiat. So he collected these assets. And so I told him that, so do you have a team? I said, we've got a village of just 10 house. Okay, only 10 house in the entire village. Okay, and every member of the house is doing the same job which I'm doing right now, because I trained them. So I was really impressed with this guy.
Sir, I just remember something. I don't know if it's true. I was reading somewhere that in USA, a guy threw his hard disk in 2010, which had contained 1,000 bitcoins. I don't know whether it's true or not, but that was
even I heard about this news. Okay, yes, I think absolutely right. So this as I can see that, a lot of questions on, oh, this crypto is just a trend right now, it is hype. I think 10 years back, no one thought that Bitcoin can become, from whatever, it was like $1. Okay, 12 years back it was $1. And you see the value of it. It is almost going to touch $60,000 very soon. So this has happened in last 10 years, 12 years, when nobody actually thought about it. Okay, so they just paid 0.30 30 cent, for pizza. I think that was the first transaction which happened in Bitcoin. And can you believe this, the value today, so I think that's a power of this digital assets.
Right, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I hope everyone have learned a lot from the session, because I know I did a lot. So I would like to request Dr. Sindhu Bhaskar, sir, to please come in front and share the formal vote of thanks to every panelist. And
well, I think I cannot thank everyone for their valued opinion and suggestion, and all the views that they have imparted to our students and young learners. And I can just say that is what FAB Association is, and that is what we are trying to do. FAB Association wants our students to be moving away with these developments, and advancements, so that they are savvy and not tech illiterates. And FAB-TANTRA does all the postmortem of our regulations and prepares the study report for different organizations, so that the technology and socio-economic union should meet for us. That is what we have created with FAB Association and FAB-TANTRA, the ecosystem of the student E to P to P learning management system. And thank you very much, everyone, for coming and joining us and sharing your views and asking so many questions that has made the discussion so lively. We will keep on doing all these different sessions every time with different literateurs from different part of the world, so that we can give you the maximum exposure, maximum knowledge. And I will request all of you to keep working in this direction and try to spread this knowledge to other tiers also, because that is the basic purpose. You have to create the ecosystem of digital learning. That means you have to transfer this knowledge to remote areas and create more peers for yourself. So that is how the peer-to-peer effective knowledge transmission has to happen. Then only we can become technically savvy. Thank you very much and enjoy a very good evening and a good night.
Thank you, sir.
Happy
So
weekend.
lastly, I would just want to extend my heartful gratitude to all the partners, FAB Association, EST Global INC, Niti Tantra, Coin Store, Shifan Pro, and IMS Ghaziabad University Courses Campus. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody. My pleasure. Keep safe.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.